works and infrastructure, and this one pertains to the reopening of the Banjul International Airport to international air traffic. The Gambia is expected to reopen its airport to international flights in the 2021 tourist season. The refurbished main terminal building will provide more space for both passengers and luggage handling at the arrival and departure halls, and will also have more space for offices, shops, and a VIP hall in the upper floor of the terminal. Similarly, the control tower of the airport has been refurbished and upgraded, fitted with installations and new communication gadgets for air traffic controllers. The refurbishment project at the Banjul International Airport is aimed at improving the working environment at the airport, making it more secure, effective, efficient, and competitive. When the airport is reopened, preventive and mitigation measures will be in place in order to enhance safe and efficient working operations for air transport, passengers, pilots, and the crew. Ministry of Women, Children, and Social Welfare, and this is the launching of the gender-based violence helpline, which is 1313. The Ministry of Women, Children, and Social Welfare has set up a helpline to address gender-based violence in the Gambia. The helpline is 1313, which is a toll-free number. The launch of the helpline is intended to help respond to the needs of victims and survivors to recover from the trauma they experience, help them reintegrate into their normal lives. Ministry of Women, Children, and Social Welfare has documented child abuse, early and forced marriage, and female genital mutilation as some of the harmful traditional practices affecting girls and women in the Gambia. The Ministry of Tourism and Culture. The National Center for Arts and Culture is partnering with the German National Commission for UNESCO to support communities around the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Gambia as part of efforts to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on these communities. The project will support communities in Kunta Kinte Island and related sites in Jufre through skills acquisition, community outreach, and peer exchange. These activities will help the National Center for Arts and Culture to engage communities, tour guides, women's groups, and youth to improve their skills in various activities that will add value to the Jufre Albreda destination. Moreover, it will help to strengthen the community relations between the Ministry of Tourism and Culture and the communities in these areas. Under the Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources, and the National Assembly has embarked on the construction of 14 fishing boats to encourage Gambian youths to participate in the fishing sector. The construction of the fishing boats is a supplementary agreement on the continuance of the contract between the former regime and Just Sam Enterprise located in Bara, North Bank region. Among the beneficiary communities of this project include Bara, Banjul, Salikenye, Tankular, Sambuya, Batokunku, Jurunku, Madina, and Kanuma. Out of the 14 boats, 2 will be allocated for the training of Gambian entrants into the fishery sector to become fully fledged along the coastal and inland areas. The fishing boats are meant to enable communities, especially young people, to participate effectively in the fishing. for the communities as well as create employment for the youth in these areas. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, and this is the operationalization of the Supplementary Appropriation Bill, SAP. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to the disruption of economic and social activities across all institutions. In order to mitigate and enhance the restart of activities, the government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, requested for a supplementary appropriation bill to support institutions that have been seriously affected by the pandemic. So far, support has been extended to the following: full payment of $91.2 million made from the months of August to September for the bailing out of public enterprises that is payment of their 3-month salary and GAM post. Also, full payment of $5.6 million was made in the months of August and September for the settlement of GT Board operational license, that is the Gambia Tourism Board operational license for the hospitality industry. $30 million was provided in the month of September to extend the duration during the repatriation of recalled diplomatic personnel from these missions. $20 million was paid in the month of September for the construction of the new Basse market. $300 million has been provided in the month of September for the rural and urban roads projects in the country. Full payment of $77 million was made in the month of September for the land. Full payment of $100 million made in the month of September for the post-COVID-19 recovery plan. $4 million has been paid in the month of August, in the months of August and September for the support to councils to pay their salaries. These are local government councils. And full payment of $15 million made in the month of September for the media support that has been approved by the National Assembly. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. These are the updates from the various ministries, and now we are ready to take your questions for this week's press conference.
Thank you, Honorable. Just a quick update on the Ministry of Fisheries that the votes have been issued by the Honorable Minister of Fisheries. That was just a quick update. I just for the information, so that allow the journalists to ask questions. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for that update.
Okay.
That is the latest from the ministry.
Yes, the Minister of Fisheries.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so if we have anyone with a question, they can ask.
Yes, hello? Yes, Honorable, we have Modlamin Choi wants to ask a question. Hello, Modlamin, can you hear me?
Yes, hello. Thank you very much.
Okay, you have
Honorable Minister, for that briefing. I would want to know, how does the government feel? One of its transition, agenda is getting a new constitution for a new Gambia. Now that has failed. How does the government feel?
Modlamin, I'm not hearing you. If you can raise.
Hello. Minister. Hello, Honorable Minister, can you hear me?
I'll be happy if you can repeat it again because you were too low. Yes, now I can hear you.
Yes, thank you very much. So I was asking, part of the transition agenda of the new government was to have a new constitution for a new Gambia. That has failed. How does the government of the Republic of the Gambia feel about this development?
Well, thank you so much. As a government, what we did was to initiate
network.
This very important for the creation of the. We supported the process all through. The Constitutional Review Commission went out and about throughout the country and outside, solicited the views of the Gambian and people both in and out of this country. This draft was kind of a subject of intense review by people of all states. Opinions were given and suggestions were given on the draft. They were incorporated. Process. We submitted it to we forwarded it to the National Assembly to also review it and make a discussion on it and also, vote on it.
Hello, Honorable.
Yes, can it be possible for Honorable to work on his internet so as we get this thing in full detail? Because it's very important what he is saying, but unfortunately we are not getting good audio.
Yes, hello, can you hear me? Hello?
The internet was so poor that I couldn't even hear the minister's response. I think we have to work on the internet connectivity. It's poor, very poor.
GSM. Star GSM fele promotion bana fena molie minul be mararing tanko bundala Gambia banko kanjang minu buko policeol armed forceol immigration customs anil lanjurtol datalar bala keta smartphone la minka sannu wini woro wala sang wini woro doma isa soto minka sannu wini woro sang wini lu minka sannu wini lu sang wini nani manda smartphone doma simple phone fanan minul kasannu kemelula sang kemenani talulu milbe kemenani talulu sang kemesaba talulu ning original techno simple phone minu kasannu keme konontola sang keme woro wala isa soto mobile ambulance dum keme woro doma star GSM e tabletu soto le pro dinningol wuli kilin keme sey doma isa soto nyin tabletul minu ka sim card uta wili fula keme saba isa soto HD universal remote fanan bijele flat screenol min yalon ko la receiver be konole 42 lombang wala 43 inches isi sotono $4,999 wala $8,999 star GSM manda wodom mala ngani original face mask sol sotole min sal tanka coronavirus sotola nga air freshenal fanan sotole pour alla sabati dinkiral aning official nyim bala murantulol fanan bijele nyim flash kopol ka bonali America alse muna fangala la official do wala la sabati dinkiral pour jikando wala jisuma anda se sambano tilo mume ngani designer spray fanan sotaliere min sero ka tarafengo bala fo montoro wati monni nali andi botanam France le anin Dubai isinan jibe no
we initiated the constitutional review process. We provided the funding. The bill was prepared, taken to the National Assembly, and the CRC was created. They were given all the necessary support and funds to engage in the consultation process both in and out of the country. And then from there, they prepared a first draft which was shared out to the entire country, and all sorts of opinion was given on the draft. And this draft actually culminated in the making of the Constitution of the Gambia draft, which was submitted to the National Assembly. And then the National Assembly debated on it. Unfortunately, it did not make it to the third reading. But as executive, we are not in charge of the affairs of the National Assembly. We don't interfere in their process. It was our wish that this constitution passed so that, we can go into the Third Republic. Unfortunately, if it did not pass, well, what we can do now is to look at other options that will have to be available to the country. Unfortunately, this was not the wish of the government, because as you could hear even from the Attorney General, we had already put in place the preparations for the referendum. The bill for that was already prepared, and we were getting ready for the referendum. And even the president's speech, the state opening of Parliament, a week earlier, before the debate on the Constitution, started, he indicated that the country was looking forward to having a referendum on the draft bill.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Mustafa. Mustafa, he raised his hand.
Okay.
Hello, Mustafa, are you there?
I am here. How are you?
Fine.
Excellent. So I think that my question would be with regarding the road construction, just some specifics. And of course, if you would tell us the question I'd asked, I think 3 weeks ago, about the breakdown of COVID expenditure,
yes.
Whether it's still available. And
I was just given a bulky report this morning. That's why, in fact, I was late to come to the meeting, and I have to get some clarity. I know that what I have here, 500 million was first allocated for the COVID at the initial stages, and the National Assembly also made additional $250 million as part of the supplementary appropriation bill. Now, out of this, which was, the entire amount now stands at $750 million as the grand, figure allocated for COVID. But out of this, only 296,241,332.79 bututs, actually was spent by the Ministry of Health. These amounts also include the $100 million that was given to the health sector for the support to the frontliners and other expenditures in relation to the procurement of fuel, and also expenditure on other areas related to the quarantine and stuff like that. But it's a bulky document, so I will have to work with the Ministry of Health personnel so that we provide this to the media. But the figures were given to me this morning. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mustafa. Honorable, we have iAfrica TV who also want to ask a question.
Yes.
iAfrica TV CEO.
But no, Mustafa was also asking about the roads, some clarification.
Actually, some specific thing about the roads. But to be clear, you mean you still have the bulk, not the segregated data on COVID, right?
Yes, I don't have the segregated one.
Okay, all right. So on the roads, Hakalang Road, is it going to be pre-financed? And
no, we have already provided the initial funds.
I know the initial fund is in the National Assembly supplementary appropriation.
Supplementary appropriation
payment.
About 800 million was allocated for the supplementary appropriation. So we are using this to finance the various projects, including the Hakalang Road. Because in projects like this, you don't pay the entire sum at a time. At a go. So what you do is that you have timelines, and you say from timeline A to B, this is what it costs. You do that so that it also helps with the monitoring and ensure that you have value for money. So hopefully the remaining funds will be provided as we go along. But government is entirely funding this.
Who is the contractor?
Well, I'm not clear about the contractor, but I think they are part of the consortium that are vetted by the government of the Gambia.
Okay, thank you, Mustafa. Honorable, we have iAfrica TV. They raised their hand.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Good
yes,
morning.
I can hear you.
Honorable.
Yes.
My question will go to.
We are getting a feedback
it's about
from
the
iAfrica.
oil exploration.
Maybe an equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, my question is about the oil exploration deal that the Gambia government signed with Petrono, and I want to know the percentage the Gambia seeks to have from this deal.
We have not started any exploration yet. What has been happening is that, and I think this has been explained several times, the various international companies have expressed interest to, do some findings and research at their own risk. And when the oil is eventually found, because you have to go through a lot of stages to confirm whether you have oil. Even when it is confirmed that you have oil, you also have to confirm whether it is of any marketable value. Like, you have to look at the volume. How long can you, be drilling this oil and also make profit out of your investment? So a lot of factors go into this. So as far as the government of the Gambia is concerned, we have not signed any, profit sharing with any company on oil exploration. Yes, they are doing the research, and they are also doing the activities at their own risk. And when oil is found, of course, under the supervision of the Ministry of Energy, and when eventually it is confirmed that there is oil and it is of marketable value, of course, I mean, those negotiations will come in.
All right. Another question is about the Mile 2 inmates. There are reports that some of them have coronavirus. How true is this report in the first place, and how many of them?
Well, it is true. I mean, because the Ministry of Health last week had an interview with one of the local radios, and they confirmed that they confirmed reported incidents of cases at the State Central Prison. I think so far at the time when I got the information, it was about 20, but at different stages, which means that it is not the 20 that occurred at the same time. So those ones were isolated from the rest of the prison population, and they were receiving treatment.
Okay. Another question is about the OIC Summit that will be held in the Gambia in 2022. Already there are advertisements that are done on that regard. But how far with the preparations? Because it's 2022 and already people have not seen any the start of any construction of the roads or anything of that sort. So how far with the government's preparation regarding the OIC Summit?
Well, it has to be understood that the OIC conference preparation is at different stages. First, you also have the support to the security services to train them on VIP protection, and also, I mean, security at conference installations and stuff like that. That has been ongoing with the support of the Turkish government. I mean, the Gambia Police Force, the elite division responsible for the protection of the VIPs, has been receiving continuous training both here and in Turkey to up their games in this particular, domain. We also have the conference center already built and ready to be utilized. In fact, currently test runs are being done. Events are happening there right now. And that all these are meant to ensure that we are ready in case, the conference is to take place, and we, to make sure that we minimize any hitches. Now, the construction of the roads, as you may be aware, the design of the roads now are almost complete, and the contracts are going to be awarded. I hope, what we heard was before the end of the year, and that one is also ongoing. Also, the roads have been identified since 2 months ago and then made public, and that people are already aware the roads that will be constructed. So the designs are just what is happening now, and hopefully after the designs are done, because Gambian firms and some international companies have also been identified to engage in this designing. I think that contract has already been awarded. So what is now left is to award the roads identified to the construction companies to start the work. Also, the VIP section, the VVIP section of the Banjul International Airport, in preparation for this conference, has also been identified, and that will also come on soon. And also some of the other issues like supporting the availability of the necessary automobiles to make sure that the conference is successfully held. Those ones also, efforts are ongoing.
Okay, thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, iAfrica TV. Do we have any other questions for Minister, please? See, iAfrica CEO, they raised their hand, but I think it's the same institution. Hello.
Okay. Mustafa Dabo wants a follow-up question. He just sent a text. Yes. Yes. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so you want me to reread it? All right. Okay. Let me do that.
Yeah, but we will email this speech. This speech will be emailed to everybody after.
Yeah, but they want the video as well.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm reading the video again. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Welcome to the 8th edition of the Interministerial Press Conference coordinated by the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure through the Office of the Government Spokesperson. This week we are starting with the official launch of infrastructure projects across the country by the President. His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Adama Barrow, will launch a number of infrastructure projects across the country starting Saturday, 26 September 2020. The first project to be launched is the long-awaited Hakalang Roads project in the Nyomis, covering over 84 kilometers, which is fully funded by the government of the Gambia. On the same day, President Barrow will also lay the foundation stone for the construction of the new office and residence of the governor of the North Bank region. The President will also lay the foundation stones for the construction of the 24-kilometer Senegambia Road corridor from Ker Ayub to Senova on the 1st of October, the construction of the Jara Soma and Farafanya markets, and the toll booths on the Senegambia Bridge. On the 3rd of October, the President will lay the foundation stone for the construction of the Basse market, which was ravaged by fire in February 2020. Contracts for the construction of the new state-of-the-art Basse market have already been awarded to 2 local construction firms to the tune of over $70 million, funded entirely by the government of the Gambia. Other foundation stones for road construction to be laid by the President within the next 3 weeks include the 10-kilometer Baikunda access road, the Ker Aldu and to Ker Jimbala Road, and Gen Sanjal Road. All these roads are funded by the government of the Gambia. The Ministry of Transport works on infrastructure, and this pertains to the reopening of the Banjul International Airport to international air traffic. The Gambia is expected to reopen its airport to international flights amid tight health regulation by end of October 2020. Renovation works at the main terminal building are near completion in time for the 2020-2021 tourist season. The refurbished main terminal building will provide more space for both passengers and luggage handling at the arrival and departure halls, and will also have more space for offices, shops, and a VIP hall in the upper floor of the terminal. Similarly, the control tower of the airport has been refurbished and upgraded, fitted with installations and new communication gadgets for air traffic controllers. The refurbishment project at the Banjul International Airport is aimed at improving the working environment at the airport, making it more secure, effective, efficient, and competitive. When the airport is reopened, preventive and mitigation measures will be in place in order to enhance safe and efficient operations of air transport, passengers, pilot, and the crew. Ministry of Women, Children, and Social Welfare, and this is the launching of the Gender-Based Violence Helpline. The Ministry of Women, Children, and Social Welfare has set up a helpline to address gender-based violence in the Gambia. The helpline is 1313, which is a toll-free number. The launch of this helpline is intended to help respond to the needs of victims and survivors, recover from the trauma they face, and help them reintegrate into their normal lives. The Ministry of Women, Children and Social Welfare has documented child abuse, early and forced marriages, and female genital mutilation as some of the main harmful traditional practices affecting young girls and women in the Gambia. The Ministry of Tourism. The National Center for Arts and Culture is partnering with the German National Commission for UNESCO to support communities around the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Gambia as part of efforts to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on these communities. The project will support communities in Kunta Kinte Island and related sites in Jufre through skills acquisition, community outreach, and peer exchange. These activities will help the National Center for Arts and Culture to engage community tour guides, women groups, and youth to improve their skills in various activities that will help add value to the Jufre Albreda destination. Moreover, it will help to strengthen the community relations between the Ministry of Tourism and Culture and the communities. The Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources and National Assembly, and this pertains to the construction of 14 fishing boats in the country. The Department of Fisheries under the Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources and the National Assembly has finished the construction of 14 fishing boats to encourage Gambian youths to participate in the fishing sector. The construction of the fishing boats is a supplementary agreement on the continuance of the contract between the former regime and Just Company Enterprise located in Bara North Bank region. Among the beneficiary communities of this project include Bara, Banjul, Salikenye, Tankular, Sambuya, Batokunku, Jurunku, Medina, and Kanuma. Out of the 14 boats, 2 will be allocated for the training of Gambian entrants into the fishing sector to become fully fledged fishermen, while 2 other boats will be allocated for monitoring the activities against illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing along the coastal and inland areas of the country. The fishing boats are meant to enable communities to participate effectively in the fishing sector. The boats will increase fish production at the community level, contribute to food security, to generate revenue for the communities, as well as to create employment for the young people in these communities. And finally, the Ministry of Finance on the operationalization of the Supplementary Appropriation Bill. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to the disruption of economic and social activities across all institutions. In order to mitigate and enhance the restart of activities, the government, through the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, requested for a supplementary appropriation bill to support institutions that have been seriously affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So far, support has been extended to the following. 1, full payment of $91.2 million made from the months of August to September for the bailing out of public enterprises, that is payment of their 3-month salaries for the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority, Gambia International Airlines, Gambia Maritime Agency, and GAM Post. 2, full payment of $5.6 million made in the months of August and September for the settlement of the Gambia Tourism Board operational license for the hospitality industry. 3, $30 million was provided in the month of September to extend the duration for the closure of the Malaysia and Algeria diplomatic missions, and also factoring the repatriation of recalled diplomatic personnel from these missions. 4, $20 million paid in the month of September for the construction of the Basse market. 5, $300 million has been provided in the month of August for the rural and urban roads projects. 6, full payment of $77 million was made in the month of September for the compensation for the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project. And this compensation pertained to the land compensation for the communities whose areas have been affected by this project. 6, full payment of $100 million was made in the month of September to the Ministry of Tourism for the post-COVID-19 recovery plan for the tourism industry. 7, $31.4 million has been paid in the months of August and September for the support of area councils to pay their salaries, or local government councils to pay their salaries. And finally, full payment of $15 million made in the month of September to the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure to support the media sector. Thank you so much. This has been the update from the various ministries. So we can continue with the questions.
Okay, thank you, Honorable. So I guess now everybody have the video for the statement, and this statement will be shared via email to everybody in the mailing list. So we can continue if you have any questions. If you have questions, you can raise your hand and I can unmute you and you can go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, finally, Honorable Minister, my question will be about last week's, your last week deliberation when you talk about the Google digital map system for the Gambia. I want to know how will the lack of physical addresses in most parts of the country affect the implementation of the digital map system for the Gambia? And if so, how will this project overcome the challenges of a lack of physical address when creating the digital map? And of course, when do we expect the digital map to be up and running in the Gambia?
Well, let me start with the last point, when it will be up and running. I mean, we have already explored the opportunity to start it in Banjul being small, and also where you have ongoing modernization going on with the roads, and knowing that almost all the compounds in Banjul are numbered. So what we will do is to pilot, test run this initiative, and it will help to identify commercial buildings from residential. That will help the councils to also maximize their revenue collection, but also to bring in efficiency and accountability and transparency in the way revenue is generated in the councils. Now, I mean, as far as the project proper is concerned, when we have done the pilot in Banjul, and based on the data generated and the results, we want to upscale it to all other areas. Now, the difficulty of the lack of physical addressing, this is what this project is going to actually, I mean, address. At least in every part of the country, especially in the urban area here, most of the streets, they have a name. So what you will need to do is to input this data into the system, and compounds along those roads will be identified if they are commercial or they are residential, and then, you know, everything will be digitally mapped. But what we are doing also, we are paying great attention to privacy of people here. So no one's name or address or telephone numbers, no, not address, but telephone numbers, names of people, and their other details will not be part of this project. What we will do is the compound and the street on which it is, and then it will have a digital mapping system, so that when you want to go to a specific area, and you call the person, they tell you where they are, you can input it into the system and you'll be directed. I mean, then it will make a lot of things much easier. It will also help the health sector and also the councils. The health sector in the sense that, you know, for ambulance services to be connected to the GIS system to ensure that, you know, they can easily identify where people are, but also for the councils to ensure that, you know, they can maximize their revenue collection, but also make it more, accountable and transparent.
Honorable Minister.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Mustafa has a follow-up question. Hello,
okay.
Mustafa.
Yes, hi. So my question is with regards to the Constitution, and the minister was telling us that that it enjoyed the support of the government. Does the government think that it's going to bring it back?
Well, I have not had the opportunity of discussing this with the relevant ministries, because we have not met in the cabinet to decide what we will do. Hopefully, when we meet in cabinet, this discussion may come up, and then, the public will be duly informed. But I can tell you that this was our project. We invested in it. We invested energy in it. And, even though constitutions are not meant to address everybody's concerns, personally, I believe that it was a progressive document, and that, if it had been passed, notwithstanding the concerns that almost every sector of this country has about specific issues in the Constitution, one way or the other, it can make a great, document.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mustafa. Do we have any other questions? If not, I guess we can close the press briefing for today. Honorable. Hello, Honorable.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, if we don't have any other questions, let me take this opportunity to thank all of you once again for making it to this week press conference.
Honorable, I have a question.
Okay, Africa, yes.
Yes. A colleague earlier asked in relation to the contract of the Hakaland Road.
Yes.
In a document, or basically the program guide, we see to it that almost the majority of the project that the president will somehow be laying their foundation stone or handing over being done, or should be, or the contract is basically awarded to the likes of ISK. Yeah, you have GAI.
Yes. So, I see them.
Yeah. So, and basically, even some of the projects are going to be done by GAMWorks and GAJ personally. Something like a joint contract on this. And basically, these two companies which I named are often being given contracts in the country. Basically, what is actually behind them awarding some of these contracts? Is it that they are the
I know that all ministries.
Yeah, is it that they are the only capable people, or also? And when it comes to the airport, earlier today on social media, we've come across that during Gambia's time, some 25 years ago or so, when the airport is being constructed, it cost $10 million. But now the rehabilitation that is almost to completion cost $14 million. From a layman perspective, how can you explain for the layman to actually understand what is behind this? Because the particular issue have started dominating social media.
Well, you are right that a project that was initiated some 23 or 24 years ago costed only 10 million. But look at the value of that 10 million 10 years ago and compare it to today. Maybe it can be up to about 3 times or 4 times the value. So I think that will be a very lame comparison to compare the prices of a construction work that started some 20-something years ago to a present day where the prices are completely different, and especially also that this happened within the context of a very constricted period where a lot of things, were difficult to come by. But more importantly, I mean, if you look at the type of work that is going on, is an extension to the existing facilities. New materials and new equipment are provided. So all those things, and you remember also the labor cost today, maybe 2 or 3 times more than what it was some 20 years ago. So a lot of factors could have been responsible for the price factor here. Although I have not seen the aggregated figure, but solely the issue of prices comparing to some 20 years ago project may not really stand. You also talk about the number of projects given to GAI and RSK, but you have also not mentioned that companies like CSC, companies like Jigo Farms, Jigo Construction, also, let me see. Yeah, those things, those ones were not included in your statement. So it is not only 2 companies. You have a lot of other companies that are awarded this contract, and some of them also. You also have Kurubali Construction. I mean, for example, for the NBR governors. So you have a lot of local companies. I think apart from RSK, which is also locally incorporated for their construction company here, and CSC, all others that are given the contract are all Gambian construction firms. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Hello?
Yes, I can.
Okay. 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 Minister, I think we can close the meeting for today.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for making it to this press conference. Mustafa, I will try as much as possible to respond to your request before mid next week, now that I have the information. And also to thank all of you for your time and energy that you spend. Director of Information Services, Joyce Isa Davis, thank you so much for always having time to attend the press conference, even though we don't see your face, but we can always see your presence. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next week, inshallah.
Thank you.
Masilla giving us update on the activities of the various ministries of the Gambia here, and Amadou, he talked about so many issues like he made clarifications on the Google digital map. Of course, he talked about the fishing vessels that the government of the Gambia acquired that are 14 for the young people to meant to create employment opportunities and to also combat illegal fishing in the Gambia. And of course, the COVID-19 funds, which we have been asking for the past couple of weeks, and he was not able to answer everything because the document was bulky, but all that we know for now is that $750 million was allocated for the COVID-19, and out of that, over $296 million was spent. That was the Minister of Information, Amadou, and Communication Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla.
Yes, very well, Julde. Thank you very much. And I think, like you said, the Minister, of course, highlighted numerous, development programs that the government are engaged on. You talked about the COVID-19 update. It has been, I think, the third week that I think journalists has been asking and want to know the monies that have been allocated and spent in the fight against the pandemic. And I think that was good that the minister finally have gotten the bulky document, as he said. Hopefully, next week he'll give us detail of how the monies were spent and all that. And another thing that also is mentioned, like you said, he talked about the fisheries ministry. I think he said trawlers are now given out to, I think, to youth or whosoever. To help and to help and get into the system. And of course, we all know over the past couple of weeks or so, there's been a lot of concern of seed scarcity in the country. Probably that will help to mitigate the situation. So COVID-19 been, of course, said it is into our president's at mile 2. I think that's such a serious thing, a worrisome thing, I have to say. And he have confirmed it. I think we expect that probably the government would. Do something, support the ministry, and see how best they can deal with the situation immediately to arrest the situation so fast that it will not spread into our presence.
All right. He also talked about the issue of the draft constitution. One of our colleagues asked what is government's position on that, and what he said that it is unfortunate, and the government, it is not the wish of the Gambia government. So that was the Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, and regarding that, he said the National Assembly members are free. The government of the Gambia will not interfere in their affairs or activities. As such, they were free to decide what they want to decide on. And of course, on the oil exploration deal, he said so far there is no deal that is reached. They are on the process right now to see whether there is oil or not in the Gambia here before they can actually reach to the percentage as to how much the government of the Gambia seeks to achieve or seeks to benefit from this oil exploration deal. That was it. That in summary, brief, that was what the Minister of Information and Communication.
Yeah, indeed. And he also finally mentioned or talked about the President Barrow's, I think tomorrow is going to launch the Hakalan Road project.
Exactly, yeah.
And this will be part of projects that he's going to launch during the next coming weeks or so. And I know Gambians would be looking forward to that. And hopefully next week, God willing, he will give us more update on other development in other ministries and other government sectors also. So basically, I think these are some of the things that we have talked about, like you said. And I think basically it's that. So I think quite interesting. But he also talked about the project, the airport at the project. The project at the airport and all that. So these are very interesting things. The OIC also, you asked about it. So these are all things that he have updated Gambians on the progress made and some of the plans the government have on all that. Yeah, exactly.
And now for the construction of the various roads, and now he also talked about the issue of the OIC center being completed, and for the OIC Gambia 2022, rather. Amadou, I think that brings us to the end of today's briefing at the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure by Honorable Ibrahim Masilla. Yes. Till we come your way next week for another edition of the press briefing, the weekly press briefing by the Honorable Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure. It's bye-bye from us.
GSM. Star GSM Felay promotion bana fena molye minulbe mararing tanko bundala Gambia banko kanjang minubuko policeol armed forceol immigration customs anila njurtol datalar bala keta smartphone la minka sannu wini woro wala sang wini woro doma isa soto minka sannu wini